Small Business Tuesday, this is Business Success.
Hello and welcome to Business Success. I'm Heidi Armstrong. Well, on tonight's program, I chat with entrepreneur Dale Beaumont, who is the CEO and founder of Business Blueprint, as well as the best-selling author with a string of 16 books to his name. Now, Dale will share tonight what has led him to launch what he is saying is the world's first 24-hour small business channel. We'll get to that later. But first, joining me tonight is Gabrielle Dolan to talk about the growing importance of authenticity in the workplace, as explored in her new book called Ignite, Real Leadership, Real Talk, Real Results. I think she might tell us it's time that we get real. And with workplace demographics shifting, leaders are facing new communication challenges as they really do attempt to better engage with Gen Y. So, to talk about why it's up to leadership teams to adapt and become more authentic, I welcome to the program Gabrielle.
Hello, Heidi.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
So what led you to write the book Ignite?
Well, I do a lot of work with senior leaders across corporate Australia, and I see one of the challenges is how they engage and connect with people. And I also see a lot of changes with the Gen Y coming in, and we just need... It's like you said, it's time to get real. It's in the way we lead, and it's in the way we talk. So we can actually communicate and engage better with our people.
So you have a lot of experience working with corporates, in leadership teams. Was there a level of dysfunction that you saw that you thought, I really need to write this book?
Yes, there was, with all due respect to my clients. But yeah, I've spent my entire working career in the corporate world. I worked for the National Australia Bank for 17 years and left there a decade ago as a senior leader. So I guess I experience firsthand the frustrations of leadership when you are trying to communicate and you have that frustration that people don't get it. But I do see, with the clients I work with, this constant challenge of we've thought we communicated it, but no one understands it. How do we communicate to Gen Y? They just don't get it. They're demanding us to lead differently.
Is that true?
It is true. Gen Y, I actually love Gen Ys because they have a beautiful, healthy disrespect for authority. So they challenge us because they will not just do what they're told to do.
But isn't that what we want?
It is what we want.
People to follow the line?
Leadership would be so easy, wouldn't it, if we just told them what to do.
And then they did it.
I mean, parenting would be a breeze also if that was the case. But yeah, leaders are finding that, because Gen Y won't just follow on position or title, because they've got this beautiful, healthy disrespect for authority, they will still follow people, but it's not going to be based on position or title. They will follow the people that engage them. They will follow the leaders that connect with them purpose. They will follow the leaders that inspire and ignite them. And I see leaders, it's too easy to say they're just lazy, they're not prepared to do the hard yards. They're not leaving to go sit on a banana lounge by the pool. They're actually leaving to work for leaders and organisations that inspire them. So
they want to be inspired. Is the trick that once you inspire someone, in the younger demographic, that you have them for a longer period of time? Is it like the old loyalty?
A little bit of both. I think you can keep them for longer. I think the days of having someone for 10 or 20 or 30 years in an organisation are long gone. So I don't think organisations are even looking for that now, and certainly employees aren't looking for it. But the inspire is about when you have them, how do you get them to be the best they can be while they're with you? So, we're constantly asking people to do more with less, but how do we expect to do that if we don't inspire them? We're constantly, the challenge of attracting and retaining talent is still a challenge, but how do we expect to attract people, let alone retain them, if we're not inspiring them?
So it all comes down to inspiring, igniting a flame within them. Maybe a bit like on the book.
Great title for a book.
So how do you do that? How do you actually inspire someone?
Yeah, look, one of the concepts, or the couple of concepts in the book, is it's real leadership, real talk. And real leadership is about how you bring your whole self to your leadership. How, what do you care about? What are you passionate about? What do you stand for? And are you prepared to bring that to your leadership? And people aren't looking for leaders leaders who have all the answers. So are you prepared to bring emotion and vulnerability into your leadership? Just not be this bulletproof because you have a position of authority, because it's actually not real and it's not inspiring.
So is it inspiring to not know the answer?
Sort of.
Do that.
Yeah, we're brilliant now. Now we're inspiring. Not as simple as that. I don't know the answer, so therefore I must be inspiring. But it's been okay to say, you know what, I don't know the answer. What do you think? And again, people are wanting to be more involved, especially the Gen Y. They want a voice. They want to be involved from day one. So it's sort of, I think we're in this beautiful thing to say Gen Y want to be led that way. And with technology and all this information, the concept that the leader has to be the smartest person in the room, I think is an outdated concept. And if leaders are still trying to live up to that, then they're not bringing the people along with them.
What about when you have teams that have a mix and you don't have one team that's just full of Gen Ys, you're going to have, you know, Gen X and baby boomers all mixed together.
Yeah.
Does the same rule apply? Or, you know, are there people in the team that want to see just this straight line of authority and be told what to do?
Yeah.
And it won't work in that environment.
I think there's very few people that just want to be told this is what we're doing, this is how you do it, and don't give any opinion. So I think this concept of being more inclusive with your leadership, being more real with it, will appeal to everyone. Because also being real with your leadership is the way you communicate. And I think everyone is completely over corporate jargon and management speak and death by PowerPoint. And there is a real push to just say it as it is. Just talk in a more personalising way than what we do.
This goes back to the concept of storytelling, which you're very well regarded for in the industry.
Yep.
Tell us about storytelling and how you can actually bring that as a tool in business leadership.
Yeah, so when I actually left the corporate world 10 years ago, it was to help leaders, give them the skill of how they can use a personal story attached to a business message. So it's not about, you know, revealing your deepest and darkest secrets. And in fact, please don't go there.
If they were interesting, I'd love to share them.
It would be fun. But it's how you can use the day-to-day stories about, you know, your kids or when you're a kid and attach it to a business purpose or a business message, because we really connect with that and we resonate. So as humans, we're actually hardwired to tell stories and we're hardwired to listen to stories, but we do that all in our personal life all the time, but we come into business and think that's unprofessional, or we think we need to influence people by logic and data and facts and figures, and
we can use the heart.
It just doesn't work. So part of the book is to, you know, not only appeal to the head with all the logic, but actually appeal to the heart, because the fastest way to the head is through the heart. And so, but for decades, we're convinced that just informing people with all this information through PowerPoint.
Death by PowerPoint.
Death by PowerPoint is, you know, I'm on a personal mission to eliminate death by PowerPoint, and again, because people are over it.
And I guess also when you think about social situations where you go to a party and you meet someone for the first time, you do give a little bit of yourself in order to get back. And so are you saying basically the same rule applies?
It's the same rule applies. I mean, you know, if you go... You know, if you go to a social setting and you meet someone and you have that feeling of, we're really connected with each other, it's because we've shared stories. And again, if you go to a party and you meet someone and they don't give anything of yourself, you normally walk away going, that was really hard work. I don't even know anything about the person. So I think this concept of personal and business, and that they shouldn't meet is just an old-dated concept of leadership.
Now, is it fair to say that this, as well as being your thoughts that you've put together in your book, I mean, you've done a lot of study and you've gone and done some additional programs over at Harvard. Is this something that the new world of business is looking at generally? Yeah,
look, authentic leadership is a concept that I think businesses are looking into. And again, I've been working for 10 years in corporate Australia with senior leaders. So I guess I've developed my IP around this and my thoughts. And yeah, Harvard last year was a brilliant experience. You know, if anyone wants a bucket list tick off professional development, Harvard was it. And how you can take other concepts, so Harvard was around adaptive leadership, and bring that into authentic leadership. So it's building. It's like anything. It's constantly building on IP and how this can be of more value to your clients.
And your book has achieved the status of, I think, the number 14 on the bestseller for business.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's only been out for a couple of weeks, and to reach number 14 in that short time, it actually last week overtook Sheryl Sandberg's Lean In for the sales for the week. So that was pretty exciting. I nearly ran off the road when I heard that bit of information.
That's great.
But I think, you know, the number aside, what it tells me and what I'm proud of is this message is really resonating, and I think it's a timely message to say we just need to start getting a lot more real with the way we communicate.
I know you're a fan of equality in the workplace.
Yeah.
Are women better leaders than men because they're more tapped in? Because they're more tapped into their emotional side.
Yeah, you know what I think is exciting for females in leadership, and I have been a strong advocate for women in leadership. I wrote my thesis on it about 15 years ago. I think this concept of what is leadership is changing, and I think it's been more attuned to showing a lot more emotional intelligence, being prepared to show vulnerability, being prepared to show emotion. And as the pendulum, I guess, swings to this is what leadership is about, I do think women fit that role more naturally than the perhaps old understanding of leadership where you just have to be strong and not collaborative.
It's more intuitive for women.
Yeah, so it's more, I think this real leadership and authentic leadership is more intuitive for women.
But you don't have to give up if you're a man.
No, don't give up. There's still hope. There's still a role for you to play.
Excellent. I'm sure many men are very happy to hear that.
Excellent.
Gabrielle, it's been really fabulous to have you, and I wish you all the best. Can I just ask you, you've written a couple of books. Have you got an idea in mind for your third?
I have, actually, and funnily we were just talking about the idea of the next book is Women and Power.
Oh,
I didn't even know that, did you? I think I might be back at Harvard next year to do a little bit more research on that.
Oh, fabulous. Well, thanks so much for joining me on the program. It's been great to have you.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Well, we're going to take a short break, but coming up, I will be joined by one of Australia's young successful entrepreneurs to talk about what he believes is the most effective education for SMEs in today's world.